Hello everybody, good day to you and welcome back. Glad you guys are here. We are returning to this 1999 Ford F250 with the 7 lug wheels. We just did an extensive video on this yesterday about rebuilding all of the front end components. It got new tie rods. It also received new lower ball joints and upper control arms as well. We did some transmission work to it, which was fluid and a filter. We did some brake work to it, which was pads on the rears and the front, and then I did a set of rotors in the front. The customer had brought me one single rotor, and I elected to not do just one rotor, so we had to do both. And I need to go ahead and make some clarification on an inaccuracy that I had stated yesterday. When I opened up this vehicle, I said that this was an F250 Triton, and my brain associated Triton with the 5.4 for some reason, not realizing that is actually a 4.6. So I told you guys the wrong engine size. I hope that small amount of misinformation is not too consequential. So anyway, I'm hoping we can just go ahead and move right on past that. Anyway, our customer had stated again that the AC was blowing warm, and we do have fan motion. The AC is on. I can hear the compressor kicking on and off under the hood there while we're running, and we are definitely blowing some hot air. So let's throw a thermometer into our dash real quick and just see what kind of temperatures we are getting. Look at that, 100 degrees. That's not normal. That's less than an inefficient AC. This thing is actually blowing heat out from the vehicle. So we've got some kind of an issue here. Doesn't feel that great. And it doesn't look that great either. Okay. Yeah, looky here. That's not all right. The knob is broken. That's the temperature selector knob that goes on the HVAC module there, and you can see there's that crack in it right there. So I'm wondering if this is just turned on to heat, and that's why it's underperforming. So here, what we can do, we'll switch the knobs over. We'll do rotating knobs, and yeah, look at that, the little flat on it. See the little flat right there inside? And then our peg on the module also has a flat, so we need to line that flat up with the other flat. And we have found that the AC system was in this position, which is hot. So let's crank her down to the cold position here. See what our thermometer tells us. It's definitely responding. I can feel it, and we can see it. There we go. Yep, dropping down. Okay, so we got a busted knob here. That's one problem. So the AC was ACing, but it was turned on to heat instead. I can still hear the compressor cycling, so that's still functioning like it should be. The question is does our system now make enough cold air, or is it also low on charge? Let's bring up the idle a little bit. I'll hold it around what feels like about 2,000. Let's see what our system starts doing. So we're making, what, 66? I can't tell. Hang on. Let's see, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. Okay, so there's about 5-degree increments, so we're at 65, 68, 69 degrees, something like that. So it's not the greatest performing system. It could be a little low on refrigerant. That's probably the issue here. I'll go ahead and pull that down and weigh the charge later on. And we're just going to see how low it really is or is not. Okie dokes, moving on, we wanted to take a look at that service engine light, and we also have this airbag light that is on. So I'm going to bust out my scanner device. Probably going to have to order some new knobs. I hope those are available. Otherwise we'll have to play musical knobs for that. But scanners here, we're powered up. Let's get into Ford, and we're going for 99 F250. And since it's the 7 lug, that either means it's a heavy light duty or it is a light heavy duty truck. It's like an intermediate, kind of like the Chevrolet 1500 HD. They put 2500 series suspension parts on it, kind of beefed up the suspension a little bit. So effectively what we have is a beefed up suspension F150 with an F250 badge. Hope that clears things up. People were like, "Ree, that's not an F250," and I'm like, yes it is. It says so on the side. Like right there, it says so right there. So it's for sure a 250. Codes only. Customer had stated there was a 401 code. So let's see if that one's here. Look here. 401 EGR insufficient flow detected. Then we've got a 171 and a 174, so we're running lean on 2 banks. We're gonna go back into engine data. I wanna see what's going on with those fuel trims. Engine powertrain, yipper. AT with AC. That's automatic transmission with air conditioning. And we're looking for data. There we go. Continuing. We want fuel data. I probably could have got that out of emissions data also, or sensor data. Fuel trims are everywhere. Okay, let's go in through. I want to see fuel trims. Where are you? No injector faults. Yeah, fuel trim's crazy. Look at that. Maximum, maximum. Those are my long terms. Let's see what the O2 sensors are doing. We've got O2 sensor 1, bank 1, and sensor 1, bank 2. Let's go ahead and graph these guys, see what happens on a graph. We will foregraph our O2 sensors. Okay, so we have a bank 1 sensor here and a bank 1 sensor there, and they are doing what we want to see them do. They're switching, going high-low, high-low. I'm not paying much mind to the downstreams. Those are just monitors for the converters. So the sensors are not hung up, but we are running lean. Okay. You know, at the same time, we had that EGR code also. Let's go check out the EGR valve. It said insufficient flow, but OBD systems can be kind of stupid. So this thing might actually just have a stuck open EGR and it has infinite flow. All right, first of all, let us remove our engine cover, the one that says 4.6 and not 5.4. I would have known that if I would have just read it yesterday. No, put you right there. 2 more on this side and we're good. That's our cover. That's our EGR valve. And what are we looking like here? That's our solenoid that actuates our valve. Okay. DPFE, that's differential pressure. What's the F? Feedback sensor? Differential pressure feedback sensor, yep. And I forget where that goes. I think it runs down to the EGR tubes. Yeah, runs right here to the EGR tubes. That's that device is determining whether we have EGR flow or not. All right, so before we pull this EGR valve out just to inspect the holes, let's fire up the scan tool and the engine one more time. What I'm gonna do is actuate the EGR, and we're gonna see if the engine responds to commands from the scan tool when we ask it for some EGR flow. Oh, and forgive me, by the way, I keep saying EGR as if we all know what EGR stands for. The acronym is for exhaust gas recirculation. If we pay a little bit closer attention to the system, we have a valve right here. It's vacuum actuated, and that valve goes into the intake manifold. On the other side of that valve, we've got this metal tube right here that runs down, and that connects to the exhaust down below. So when this thing is commanded open by the ECM, it'll take engine vacuum from this vacuum line right about here somewhere. It'll take engine vacuum, open the valve, send that vacuum through our green line to the diaphragm in the EGR valve. It'll pull that valve open and then allow exhaust flow to go through that pipe and into the intake manifold. What that does is reduces, I believe it's NOx, nitrides of oxygen emissions, and it also can lower cylinder combustion temperatures. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna go into special functions in the scan tool, and we need to seek the command, functional test. We need to seek the command to actuate that EGR. So EGR vacuum regulator duty cycle, let's choose that one. It should give us a prompt to go in increments. I think it's 10 through 100% increments. And yeah, right here. So what we're gonna do, we're at 10%, 20%, and we should start to see this engine behave and respond to our increase in flow. We're at 30%, it's 40, here we go. 50%, 60. Now we're starting to really hear it. It's starting to lope and misfire. 70%, 80. Okay, so the EGR valve is in fact flowing. And if we close it off all the way, it's now closed. I can't tell if I feel vacuum here or not. Let's put a gauge on that real quick. Right now, this thing is commanded in the closed position, 0% flow. Here, what we'll do, we've got a vacuum gauge here. It's not the greatest, so it may not be accurate at these low vacuum levels, but I can actually feel it right here. The reason I say that disclaimer is I don't know if the gauge is going to pick up on this or not. And since this unit is commanded closed, we should not get any vacuum flow here. What we'll do is we'll set that up and, oh, come on. We're going to get real stable like, and I'm going to attach and then reattach the vacuum. So right now we're detached, and give me a second here, bear with me folks. Okay, see that? See the gauge move? Now this unit is commanded closed. We are at 0% EGR flow. I'm going to repeat the same test after disconnecting the power supply to that actuator solenoid. We're going to see if we have flow here, or vacuum rather. All right, watch the gauge. See that? Disconnected, connected. Disconnected, connected. So what this tells me is this unit right here has a leak inside of it. There's a small vacuum leak, and what that is translating into is it's actually pulling EGR when not commanded. So this is closed, there's not supposed to be vacuum here, but there is. So that EGR valve is open slightly, and it's letting some exhaust gases into the intake when it's not supposed to be. That is could very much cause the EGR flow or excessive flow trouble code that we had, and it potentially could also cause that P0171 and that 174 lean system condition on both banks, bank 1 and bank 2. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. I'm going to order another EGR solenoid real quick. We're going to slap that in, repeat the test, and then we're going to check our fuel trims to see if they've gone down. If fuel trims go down to stabilize, then we know that that is the entirety of the problem. If they do not stabilize, then we need to move on and diagnose the P0171 and the 174. So let me run inside, get that unit ordered, and then we'll get that thing in the pipeline, then we'll go from there. Alrighty then, so my actuator assembly has been ordered, solenoid assembly rather. It's on order. It's gonna take, I almost fell. It's gonna take a wee little while to get here. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to smoke test this intake. That's the smoke test machine. It's basically got inside of it like a solution similar to baby oil. And what that solution will do is it will be heated up inside of this machine, and it's going to produce a very thick, rich white smoke. Let's see if you can't see. It's starting right now. There we go. Can't see, there's no contrast. How about down here? There you go, there's some smoke. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna plug this unit into the intake. We're gonna fill this intake manifold full of that smoke. What I'm looking for is obviously a leak. I wanna make sure that the intake manifold gaskets do not leak. So we're looking for smoke down in there. I wanna make sure that all this plumbing and whatnot up here doesn't leak, as well as the vacuum lines and anything else attached to that system. So far, I do not see any smoke. There's some. There's some smoke. What is this? It's coming from the bottom of the air filter area. Let's pull this filter element out and see what's going on down there. Maybe we have another broken tube, kind of like that BMW. Oh, negatory. Just the mass airflow connector is disconnected, or the seal rather. See that right there? Let's plug that back in. That if that was leaking in air, that could have definitely caused those lean codes. So, I'll tell you what we'll do. we've initiated a change in the system now, sealed up that leak. So I am going to disconnect that EGR so it stays closed. We're gonna go back inside the cabin, restart the engine, and then we're gonna pull up our fuel trims again. If that thing was leaking and it was drawing in unmetered air, meaning air that the ECM did not know was coming in, that could definitely be a cause of the lean code. So let's check our fuel trims real quick, like data. We're gonna see if short terms go into the negative. If they go far negative, that's gonna tell me that it's going to pull the long terms down to a more stable condition, because we had found those long-term fuel trims in the, the high 20s or something. Let's go back, I don't remember. Scrolling, injectors, continuing to scroll. Looking for fuel trim, short-term fuel trim, long-term fuel trims. There we go. Long terms, 28 and 17. See that right there? Let's go down to short-term fuel. Look at that, negative 13, negative 16. That might be our winner right there. So here's what I will do. I'm gonna reach in and pull that guy loose again. Look at that, the engine started running differently, and we should start to see these things jump positive. Look at that. Well, now they're less negative, but we're going positive. See it? So that solves our fuel trim issue, I think. I'm gonna plug that little seal right back in to reseal it up. Proof of concept here. We're gonna see some sharp negatives. There we go. -4, -6, 7, -8 and 9. Beautiful. So with that, we are going to begin to see our long term start to drop. Let's take note of 27 and 29. That's where they are. I'm gonna leave this alone, let it run and idle for a while, and we're gonna see where those 20s stabilize at after a few minutes. So stand by, we're on a waiting game right now. Actually, no, don't go anywhere, don't stand by. I have something else to do. I have in my possession some knobs. Check it out, AC system knobs. See, what we're doing right now is exercising efficiency. This is efficiency at play. We're waiting on a part, but we have other things to do, and we can do those other things while we wait. So that's one of the new knobs. Stick that guy in. Oh, tell me you're gonna fit. These things better fit. Nah. My knob's not fitting in the thing here. This makes me sad. Oh, there we go. Okay, that one's in. That's the non-broken one. We're gonna change that out with a new one as well. As long as they fit, we're good. Maybe this one. So I've got 3 knobs, but they're not all the same. Okay. Well, that's sad. I wanted 3 good knobs, not a bunch of different ones. Okay, that one's in there. That's an old one. That's one of the new ones, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so I used a combination of one of the old ones and one of the new ones, and I left this one old one, or I left that one kind of alone. So I only ended up using one of the knobs that came out of that kit. This one, I wanted to use this one as well, but it's kind of a different diameter on the inside, so that's a no. Regardless, we've now fixed the temperature control issue. One thing I had noticed earlier on this is that compressor did seem to cycle quite rapidly. That does indicate a potential low charge on it. And upon further inspection, I have found some oil over here on this line. Look at that right there, see that? So I believe we may have a leaker amongst us, or in our midst, or present, or something like that. Something here is leaking. What I'm going to do is we're going to evac this. I'm going to change the Schrader valves as per my normal protocol. We're going to clean all that stuff off, and then we can observe it over time to see if it's this valve that was leaking, or if it was this switch right here leaking, or potentially the line right there leaking. I don't know which one it is, but we're going to find out. But first things first, I would like to make a determination as to whether this system is low or not. And again, I think it is because that compressor was rapid cycling. I hit that with that, but I don't want to, well, I want to make sure before we do anything. So we're going to pull the system down, weigh the charge out, compare that with what is supposed to be in the vehicle, and then install a new charge. Then we can go back to observing that rapid cycle condition, see if it's present or not. Oh, Dynamat goes up there. There we go, compressor is parked. Let's see if I've got enough extension cord on this to plug her in. The actual power cord on that thing broke, and I had to hardwire in an extension cord, which is cool because it gives me much more cord to work with. Let's connect our connectors. Let's see, a high side fitting. When you open these valves, just turn them until they stop. You don't crank open and wrench them because it'll just it'll tear up the fitting. Now where's my low side connector? There it is back there. It's on the receiver dryer. Let's unscrew that one's cap. Sneak our fitting in, giving space for the hose. Get on there, please. Nope. Get on there now. There we go. Give it some wiggles. That's in position, not coming off. Opening the valve. Looks like we do have pressure. Recover. So what's going to happen here is the machine is going to take all the refrigerant out of the system. It's going to run it through some filters. It's going to put it in the storage tank. And then it's going to tell me via a scale how much refrigerant in weight it recovered from the system. Begin recovery now, please. Pressure's falling. Alrighty, we'll give this thing a few more minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to my computerizer and we're going to look up the specified amount of refrigerant that's going to go in that vehicle. Powering on. Enter password. You guys can't see. Okay, we've got 99 F250 four-wheel drive pulled up already. We're looking for specifications. This is all data, by the way, not sponsored. That's just what I use. And we want fluid types and capacities. First menu. We're looking for compressor HVAC. That gives us oil. Okay. Refrigerant, oil, refrigerant, there we go. So fluid types and capacities, that's what we want. And we're looking for 0.94 kilograms, that's 33 ounces. Beautiful. So since I speak in pounds, 33 ounces times 16 ounces in a pound, that gives us 2.0625 pounds of refrigerant. So 2.0625 pounds, that is our specified amount. X amount of moments later, and it looks like we've recovered only 1.02 pounds of refrigerant from the system. So it was low, as I had speculated. Let us go ahead and pop these service valves out of here. We're gonna swap them out with some new valves. Oh, unclick, please. Oh, that's in there tight. Okay. Oh, I need pliers. So yeah, we're gonna swap these out with some new valves and then vacuum this system down, recharge it, and I am still waiting on that actuator unit for the EGR valve. So it has not arrived just yet. Don't know what the dealio is, but the parts folks are, maybe they're busy. They must be very, very busy. This feels like it has pressure behind it. My gauges say it does not, but my spider senses tell me otherwise. Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, I almost had it. Come out. Come out, valve. Come here. It doesn't look too horrible, but I'm gonna change it with a new one anyway. Let us head on over to our cabinet of AC supply. We'll grab a couple Schraders out of there. Get that thing fixed up, sealed up, cleaned up, and then we'll change out that actuator. No, I choose this one. And that one. Okay, good to go. Let's go throw these guys in. Again, we're gonna vacuum the system down, pull out all the air that may have entered while I had it exposed. And whenever my parts show up, we'll be good to go. Clickage. Okay, that's one and done. Set that down right there. Let's get that guy reconnected. Now the one way back here, that one's a little harder to reach because it's far away, but we're gonna swap it out anyway. Prudence dictates. Ah, that one's also kind of tighter than I thought it was gonna be. Either that or my hands don't have the twisting power that they used to. Either one, or I'm lazy. I could be getting lazy. One of those three options. Okay, there's our other valve. Again, it doesn't look horrible, but I'm changing it anyway. I've had too many instances in my career where you service the AC, then you take your hoses, take your hoses back off. Next thing you know, the Schrader valve leaks because you disturbed it. Simply opening and closing it can be enough to cause the seal to fail to seal, and then the system leaks, and then you got to do it all over again. That's never okay. So those guys are now open, new valves installed, old one goes in the collection. Moving on, begin vacuuming. We're going to give this 10 minutes to vacuum down. That is industry standard protocol. Then we'll set up the charge. It's 2.062 pounds, I believe it was. And eventually I should get the parts delivery for our actuator unit. So let's move on over. Since we're done with the machine, the vacuum is beginning. We need an 8mm right here, and this guy just comes right off. There's one. We have the Ocho. Let's see if that's enough Ocho. Huge miss. Where are you? Thing just kind of hinges back and then comes right off, just like so. So this is our leaking unit. We don't need you anymore. Hey, I heard this thing beeping at me. Vacuum test complete. We're holding vacuum. Hooray. Let us go ahead and install our charge. Non-POE system. I think we're looking for 2.062 pounds of refrigerant. Come on. 0.2062 pounds refrigerant. There we go. I'll take it. Begin charging now. On the high side, please. There she goes, going in. Low sides not coming up. What do I do? Not connect it? Yeah, I didn't connect it. That's why low side's not coming up. Epic failure. It got me again, guys. It got me again. Oh, come on. Get on there, low side. I mean, it's fairly inconsequential. It is taking the full charge, but there we go. Now we got low side coming up. 1.4 pounds. All right, that's nearly completed. And we're back to our waiting game. That's removed. Hanging out. We have a replacement actuator that has arrived. Let's go ahead and slap this unit into position here. Remember, it hooks in, slides over that little stud. We've got our 8mm fastener. Get that guy screwed in. Oh no, my light's off. There we go. Tighten that unit down real quick like. We'll plug her in. Clickages. So now we will plug in our vacuum hose. We'll plug in our connector. That's good to go. The AC machine has completed its charging sequence, so we're good over here. Let's get rid of our debris. Now, what I will do is we're going to repeat our same testing procedure. We're going to actuate this system with the scan tool and with the vacuum gauge connected. to make sure it operates as designed. Restarting the engine. It's alive. Let's pull this stuff back up on our scanner here. Retrying. Verifying, give it a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and connect my vacuum gauge. Okay, so we have no vacuum here. That's connected, disconnected, connected.
All right, watch the gauge. See that? Disconnected, connected. Disconnected, connected.
All right, so we're back into functional test. We're in EGR. You see we're 0% commanded. Let's go back to our gauge, and I'm gonna give it 10% right here. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and back down. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. All right, this unit is responsive. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Let's go ahead and plug that guy back in. Let's revisit our fuel trims and see if they are continuing to fall now that we have gotten rid of that air leak and that partially opened EGR. Let's back on out of this. Backing out. We can also note that since the engine is running, we're no longer witnessing that compressor rapid cycling. So that's doing exactly what it should be doing. This thing should be pulling up. Let's go check our vent temp, see how we're doing like 7 things at once here. Efficiency, center vent temperature has fallen below 50 degrees. That's what we want to see. We're turned all the way down. All of our fan speeds are working. Let's go clear the trouble codes after we check fuel trim data. So let's get in here, back to data. Key on, engine running, blah, blah, blah. What's our survey say? We want to check out long-term fuel trims and short-term fuel trims. Scrolling past injectors, misfire, nope, nope, nope. Short-term fuel trims, long-term, where are you guys? Injectors, nope. There we go, long-terms, look at that. Long-terms have fallen to 3 and 5. And then our short-terms, those are still hanging out in the negative. That's not a problem. And our O2s, let's go back into graphing real quick. We want to do 4 graph. We want to see if our O2 sensors are switching as they should be. We're looking for a high-low and a high-low. And bank 1, sensor 1, switching high-low. And bank 2, sensor 1 is also switching high-low. So they are copying each other. This is good to go. Our fuel trims have been, or have returned to normal. We're backing out of our menu. We need to clear these trouble codes, make sure they stay gone. Codes menu again. Let's clear them out. Clear, clear, memory codes, clear codes. There we go. I can read. Codes cleared. Off or running, yep. Let's go check our service engine soon warning illumination indicator. And looks like we are turned off. Good to go. All right, guys. I believe we have touched base and solved all of the problems on this truck. The only thing left that this thing is going to need is a wheel alignment, which I cannot do here because I do not have an alignment rack yet. So I need to run this thing over, take it to the tire shop, let them do the wheel alignment, and this truck is ready to hit the road yet again. So having said all that, I have nothing more to offer you guys on this particular truck at this current point in time, other than a thank you for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, or if you found it to be moderately educational and perhaps even somewhat entertaining, please feel free to let me know about that in the comment section down below. Do not forget to tap that like button while you're down there. And most importantly, get in there, screw. Get in there. Got it. Have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. In the video, into Ford, into 4.6, not 5.4, end of transmission.